Liebst du Schönheit und nicht mich neben die Sonne, sie trägt ein goldenes Haar. Liebst du Jugend und nicht mich neben.
My family is not necessarily musical. I've got uncles and things who sing in choirs, in church choirs, but not professionally. I think I've only got one cousin who's a South African pop star, which is really strange. I am the lesser known musician of the family, according to everyone else. But my dad is tone deaf, but in church he sings with great gusto and with full of feeling, which I think is why I've translated that into how I perform. It's just like, it doesn't matter if it's wrong, I'm just gonna go for it. So that I got from my dad. And then from my mom, I get the storytelling thing. Because my mother, she used to read a lot of books to me as a child. So I've come to music not necessarily from the aspect of, oh, I want to be a musician. I've come to opera and to song repertoire because I like stories and I like hearing about other people and I like telling other people's stories. So that's how I've come into the world. Whether or not, when you ask me, when did I decide I wanted to have the career, I don't think I've ever really decided to have a career. I've only ever just tried to have a career. And my basic philosophy is very simple. I'm just gonna go until someone says, stop. You're no good, please leave the stage. Then, I'll gladly leave the stage because I've come as far as I can go. So for me, a professional career, it's still a very strange thing that this is how I make my living.
I come from a musical family. I come from a family of church musicians, and my father led a choir, my mom sang, my dad sang, my brother sang, and so it was just like the natural thing that you do when you're 5 years old is you go take piano lessons. And my family are missionaries, so we had a trailer. I lived in a trailer with my family, and we went from church parking lot to church parking lot to church parking lot, and which is a very unusual way to grow up, I realize, but for me it was totally normal. And actually in a lot of ways very much mirrors life now. This ability to you go and you're where you are, you're very present and you do your job there and then you go to the next place.
Making a case for why young singers should continue to pursue song repertoire, I mean, it's important because these stories and these poems, as they're told and retold, it's important to have various voices engage with the text because the more people, it's the same as with opera, and I think it's the same with any kind of music, the more different perspectives and life experiences engage with the text and the music that's in front of them, there are more layers that come out. I think that it's really important that what's really essential about song repertoire and about classical music repertoire is that we have to understand that the reason it stays current and relevant is the fact that we as performers engage with it from our position in time, and we put our perspectives into the reading of it. And then the conversation with the audience starts, and then they put their life experience and their understanding of society and the world into how they listen to it. And then that's what's so special about music, because then it's no longer a dead thing. It becomes a live, living entity and a live ecosystem, which is thrilling. And so I think that that is something that young students should want to be a part of, because wanting to tell stories is the reason we're all in this art.
No confetti crowd, just a bride and a witness. Blinding sun,
So how I met Kathy was actually, she's South African like me, and when I went to study at Juilliard, some friends told me, don't worry, there are some people in New York that you'll get to know. And I think I met Kathy on my first weekend living in New York City. And she and I and one of her friends went on a wild walk through the whole of New York. And I think I've got photos of us like hopping about on the strawberry fields, just, you know, on like the sheep meadows, being a little bit crazy. And so when we were thinking about this commission, like her ability to be so free and so open to new ideas kind of just popped into my head as, oh, I want to work with Kathy because I've always enjoyed spending time with her. And then Lila Palmer is also a friend of mine, and she's now in recent years, she's become quite known as an opera librettist, but she's also been a poet all her life. She's been writing poetry, I don't know, since she was a teenager. And one of the songs that we've got is actually a poem that she wrote in her 20s. For me, the idea was to put these two women that I really love and respect, and I wanted to see what happens when these two really, you know, strong examples of their craft come together and what could happen. And I'm actually really, really pleased with the outcome. So it's a really good mix of alchemy and good luck and good fortune. And we've got some really, really lovely songs that I'm really proud of and I cherish, and I just hope that we can do justice to what they wrote.
Traurig schau ich von der Klippe auf die Flut, die uns getrennt, und mit Inbrunst flieht die Lippe schon.